Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League for Season 16. Round number 7 of the Championship. Welcome to the Monaco Grand Prix here lit up under the fabulous Monte Carlo skyline. I'm your host, Zach RC, and alongside me once again is, for the last time we can call him this, the reigning Monaco race winner from Season 15, Touch with Hope. Hope, we can welcome you as the defending champion one more time.
I mean, yeah, it's quite nice to be called defending race winner. It's quite a different surprise as well, especially when I was racing full time last season. But yeah, no, it's good to be back in my second home. Love this track, and maybe next year we can go again and try and go for the win. But this year I'm in the commentary booth with you.
Exactly, and it's been a long time coming up. I've been waiting to get you in here for quite a while, to be honest, and now you are here. But of course, there's a number of drivers who, obviously, this time last season weren't on the grid for this race. Would you still fancy your chances against some of these drivers, say like Imrie, Grovey, some of the newer guys?
Yeah. No, I honestly believe it's the best track by a million miles. So I fancy my chances against probably anyone on this circuit. This circuit only as well. You put me up against any other, not a chance. But this one, yeah.
Okay, well, I've got my focus on Imrie here. Do you want to just use that expertise you've gained over many seasons and just take us on a lap of this circuit?
Of course, going through turn 18 now, only 19 corners on this circuit. It feels like a hell of a lot more than that due to them going in such quick succession. Barreling towards turn 1. Bear in mind, it's 180 miles an hour before the braking zone here. We're going to make sure you clip that curve and use all the exit on the outside, on your left-hand side. After all, you have to use as much of the track. There's not much there, you have to use absolutely all of it. Turn 3 and 4. It's fantastic, the casino section. It's one of my favourite parts of the circuit. Keep your foot in there, just try and make sure you don't skid those tyres. It's very easy to do so. The hairpin, turn 6 and turn 7. Another great bit of flowing track where you just have to use all of it. You want to make sure you're using those outside curves as much as possible. You don't want to necessarily hit the apex of every corner. You want to make sure you carry normal speed through there. Obviously, the tunnel, turn 9, going into turn 10 and 11. Very easy to pick up penalties and then validate your lap time. Make or break many qualifying laps around that area. Exiting sector 2 and exit of 12, going into 13 and 14 swimming pool section. 15, 16 and 17 all blend into one. 18 and 19 finishes off the Rascat. This circuit's fantastic. The amount of speed you carry through every corner. Over like that. I've only just started my commentary. About to finish the lap. 108.9. Very good lap there by Imrie.
Definitely, and one of the shorter ones on the calendar, so up there sort of with Austria. Of course, those two very different circuits in terms of proximity to the barriers. But I mean, looking at the Discord, I believe Imrie's had high hopes for this race, if I'm completely honest. But of course, we had a number of drivers around that could still stop him, such as Landlord, who's just gone second fastest there, 1 minute 9.2. But I believe Grimio's won here in the past. BJ, I think, has got victory here. Do you remember Che won here a couple of seasons ago? He's not in the race tonight, not with us at this point, as far as I'm aware. Because we have got a couple of new faces in the race tonight. One of them a debutant and one of them a returning favourite.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see a couple of people. We've got Barry and Leo, who Leo in the Mercedes and Barry in the AlphaTauri. So yeah, good to see some more new faces here in RDL. It's obviously nice to see some people, and yeah, obviously Leo is gonna really want to make it go in that Mercedes today.
Yes, replacing Arsenal fan full time who departed us after Imola. But regardless, we'll push. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go on.
Bit better luck of an Arsenal fan had in that Mercedes. Mercedes obviously struggled a little bit this season, but obviously Leo is the only Mercedes on the circuit right now. And in the race, sorry.
And he just broke his front wing by the looks of it there, going towards the swimming pool section. So not a fantastic start. 1 minute 12.2 his first effort. This was on his in lap, I think. So at least he's got a shorter run back round to the pit lane before he can go back out for another run. But that front wing might take a little bit of time to repair potentially. C110P found out the racetrack there. Technically, the full-time driver, the full-time winner of this race last season. Of course, Pope took the checkered flag, but it was Fan who got the points for coming home in second place. And I believe it was JB who came home in third. Of course, JB, one of the two Aston Martins, one of the few that lap time here. Already got 10 times on the board, just like that. Imrie and Landlord lead. We'll see what JB's got off here.
Obviously, this is a track where the qualifying, yeah, it matters tremendously, especially when you're fighting in that top half of the pack. P5 there for JB. However, at the same time, I think it very contrasts real life in terms of there are overtaking opportunities in the game because, after all, you're not putting your life on the line. You are putting your race on the line, which is still a worry, especially in such a competitive league like RDL is. However, there's a lot more overtaking opportunities, and obviously people are going to hit their front wings. That it doesn't cost any money to change the front wing, so in terms of that aspect as well, it's actually not too bad in terms of there is actually quite a bit of overtaking. However, if I was Imbri, I just want to control the race from the front now. You have to just keep pumping in those laps. If you've qualified P1 so far in a session, just try and go for it. Like, you have to just go and gun for it and try and get on those medium tyres or even hard tyres in the actual race and try and lead from the front like that.
Good wisdom then from a former Monaco race winner. And Pope, just while we're here, tell us what is the feeling of triumphing here at a virtual Monaco Grand Prix?
It's the best win out of the entire season. I don't think anyone would disagree with me on that. Even if you've got your home race, which after all it's all virtual, but winning Silverstone is a magical experience just to know it is your home race. However, Monaco is the crown jewel of our calendar, so it's for me it's just amazing. It's definitely the hardest track to drive, and it's hardest track to do the 39 laps on it. So if you can do it, you should be very, very proud of yourself.
And is it that sort of mental strength that you need to sort of keep your head in the game for those 39 laps without making a mistake?
Yeah, I mean, weirdly enough, I'm very incident prone around the circuit. I just always somehow get front wing damage, but luckily I always pull it off, and I'm able to still get a very good result on most occasions here. So it is very hard to keep everything clean. So there'll be a lot of action in that pit lane, I'm sure, today. But after all, that's the fun of Monaco. I
mean, as you say, the results are the main thing. Of course, the last few results, especially the most recent one, wasn't too bad, was it?
No, it definitely wasn't. I'm very happy with the last time result. I think I won by just under 3 seconds.
I do remember it being that close. I see Slandra Volvo there, the 5-place grid penalty. I didn't quite read what it was for. I managed to check the race director just quickly. If I think
it was contact with Lucky.
Yes, that's correct.
So obviously closest on track. I'm not really too sure. Slaz just not on a lap. Lucky's definitely not on a lap. Well, Lucky's on an out lap. So there may have been contact while Lucky was coming up the exit of the pit lane. I'm not too sure.
There's a chance of that, but obviously we're trying to point too much as obviously we didn't see it. Emery there goes fastest once again, 1 minute 8.807. That puts him just under 4/10 up on Lila, with Groovy there in third place on another run. She's validating her outlap here, so she'll be looking to get her head down and try and push those extra tenths out of her lap. And I think that's probably one of at least from what I've seen the last few seasons, that's one of the toughest things to do, is try and get those extra tenths out when you feel like you're giving all you got.
Yeah, definitely. I think just in this game in general, not necessarily just the track, it is very, very hard to just whip out some tenths of seconds out of thin air. I remember when I was reserving the first couple of races, I was lucky enough to do that mainly because I hadn't practiced, so I was still getting used to the game. But for these drivers who play this game week in, week out, probably racing multiple leagues as well, not just RDL, it is very hard to just get magic time, especially when you feel like you've pushed as hard as you can, especially around a circuit. Relating it back to Monaco, especially around a circuit like Monaco, where you do have to push absolutely everything.
We're looking at it right now. Grovey, I'll go on her lap here. She managed to take 2 tenths out in sector 1. Right now she needs 6 to turn up Emery for pole position. We'll have to wait and see what she can do in this second sector. Coming through the chicane now, the exit of the tunnel, and making her way towards the swimming pool section. So that's reached the second sector split. So we'll see what sort of time she's pulling out here. Keeps it out on the wall. She's lost a bit of time there. So only a 10th up in this case. And now in towards Raskas, slowing the game there once again. And coming towards turn 19. DRS now wide open for Grovey. Can she put herself on the front row? Closing on Landlord's time. Can't quite do it. Lost a lot of time in that last sector. 4 tenths down. Almost half a second off of her best effort at the end there.
Yeah, I think she kind of backed off in turn 17 to kind of reset for another lap and move. I was going to say the middle section was a little bit scruffy for her liking, so I think that was kind of the mentality. Like, she's already 3 tenths up, purposely in set to 1, so a reset has been a good thing here for Grovey. Really struggling with this hairpin, it seems. That's what I'm keeping my eye on, especially compared to Imrie, who took that a lot more fluidly. So something where the Red Bull team and Grovey will have to assess within the last 7 minutes to try and maximise all that time. So it'll probably still be another 3 tenths up on her previous time, which is still a very, very good going for Grovey.
And we'll
have to wait and see.
In terms of Imrie's lap we saw though, as he went through the chicane, what sort of differences are we noticing now?
So Grovey's going in with a hell of a lot more steam and is more slamming on her brakes rather than gradually putting them on and sliding the car through. There's a lot more of just stop and then start with Grovey. Like I say, both aspects do work. It really is down to driver preferences. Grovey goes into P3, or stays in P3 with a 109.032. But I think the way you get the most out of that time is just like keeping it flowing as much as possible rather than stop and start. That is the one thing I would say, and it does affect Grovey's turn 7 compared to Imrie's, which I think is what's going to be the main difference in those like real 2 tenths.
Okay. Well, good explanation point. Obviously, as always. Keep in mind now, switching gears completely. I'm noting our current championship second place, Salvo Grumio, who is yet to a bad lap time, Pope. Should we be concerned?
I think he's been in the pit lane for most of this session and is just made his way out.
Okay.
So be it. Some people like it differently. I mean, he might be doing the cotton and goblin strategy.
You know, you're right. This is his first time lap.
Yeah, no, it would be. It's very interesting to see how Grumio does. I mean, Grumio's fantastic at the circuit as well. Both Williams drivers are actually really, really good here at Monaco. So it'd be interesting to see if they can obviously stretch their gap in that Constructors' Championship. Currently on 73 points compared to Ferrari and Red Bull, both being on 52. So very close between those two teams.
Very tight indeed, and of course they've still got an individual battle going on there. Landlord leads the Drivers' Championship by 7 to Grumio. Grumio, if he wins this race tonight, and Landlord, I think if he fails to finish inside of the top 6 or 7, then Grumio can nab the lead of the championship. But as of right now, it's those two. Of course, Grovey and Slazenger tied for 3rd place on 26 points each. That's 14 off the lead as Grumio goes P4 there. So behind his teammate right now. I've always thought in the last few seasons, obviously don't take it the wrong way, because obviously we're first drive, but I've always felt like, at least at Monaco, Landlord's got the edge over Grumio. And I'm not sure if you can debate me on that.
Yeah, no, I think that's right.
Sorry, Imrie improved it.
Time there by Imrie, 108.7. You want to be looking for that 0.6s. 0.7 is very good. So 0.6, 0.5 is maybe the peak of really a lap time in these current cars on a qualifying session like it is today. So very, very good lap time. But yeah, going back to what you were saying about Landlord and Grumio, Landlord definitely does have the advantage. I think Landlord has the advantage on these type of circuits compared to the likes of the big flowing ones. I think the likes of Silverstone and Spa really tend to go Grumio's favour.
Definitely, I mean, but we've seen these two go toe to toe for several championships over a number of seasons here. Overall, I've seen both of them triumph over full campaigns in their individual fights purely against each other. I've seen Grumio win 2 championships to Landlord's 1 in terms of commentary I've seen. Obviously, you won the championship this season. I just about showed up at the very end. Then Landlord won it. Grumio took 3. I think he took 3 in a row, I want to say. Well, no. He took both ones in the last game. Then Fan won. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting my numbers mixed up. I thought I'd been here for an extra season, but apparently, nope. It would seem not. It would seem not. But no, we'll get back into the qualifying session now. 3.5 minutes still to come, and it looks like Imrie, Landlord, Grovey, Grumio. Those were the guys who are best placed for the race. Which, funnily enough, was also the exact same group that ran nose to tail for the majority of the race in Imola last week.
Does it surprise me? No, I think Imola and Monaco does have a lot of similar characteristics in a way. You might find that very weird to hear, but if you put the walls tighter on Imola, it would be very similar to Monaco. And obviously you've got a bit of a longer straights and it is a bit more of a classic racetrack. However, in terms of how flowing it is and how each corner blends into another, it's the exact same as Imola, so it doesn't really surprise me. What does surprise me, though, in a very positive way, is the McLarens, P5 and P7. Really good showing so far. Obviously, 20 points so far this season. They really want to be competing with Red Bull, Ferrari, and even Williams if possible. So it's good to see them back in the points, both of them in the points, and hopefully they can transfer that into the race.
I remember as well, BJ is in 7th place right now, but that becomes 6th once the Slazinger's penalty down 5 places applied. As of right now, that will sit him in P11, just outside of the top 10. That'll move Webbsy into P10, PJ into P9, and Ethan into P8. Of course, those Alpines was been a bit of a charge in recent weeks as well. Of course, we still think of the form they showed in the first race, but it took them a couple of races to get some points on the board. I think Azerbaijan was when they first got some going. And of course, the season is now in full swing for them. Oh, Slazenger has retired. I think he's called it in the pit lane. I think. Or is he out on the track?
So.
Yes, he has. Yeah. Grovy's on the racetrack here. And I think she's about to set for one more lap. There's a minute 43 to go in the session, so it's definitely enough time for another one. She'll probably get 2 laps out of this. Depends on how much fuel she's got in the car. I'd imagine Jodie has enough fuel for one more.
Yeah, I think around this circuit you can always get 2 hot laps. So, to be honest, it does benefit sometimes. I mean, we saw it with Grover's last lap. That was not on fresh tyres. That was on a lap 1 used tyres. So, maybe that is the plan. I've done it before, especially because it's so hard to get the heat in these tyres straight away, mainly because how slow the track actually is. So, when you're on like the 70 degrees coming out of the pit lane, it is very hard to get them to that near 100 degrees operating temperature.
You see Groby there sliding it around the around through turn, I believe that's turn 8 if my maths are correct. And now going out of the tunnel towards the chicane. She really lit up the rear tyres out of the hairpin section of the racetrack, and now making her way towards the second sector split. Can she improve this time round? She's almost 4/10 down. So Groby unable to improve right now. I get nervous every single time I see her go through that chicane at the swimming pool section because I feel like it almost looks as if she's gonna sort of drive it into the wall. It's not the case. She manages to maintain control of it, but it's just a slightly unnerving sight, especially if you're riding on board.
Oh yeah, very nerving. I think Grovy's style of driving Monaco is far different to what I've seen elsewhere. So it's rather interesting to kind of watch in a way compared to, I know my driving style's not like that at all, and other things as well. I've just noticed Imrie is no longer in the session. So this does leave Landlord with a good opportunity to try and snatch pole position. He's up by 1/2 in the first sector, so the time is there on the board. Can Landlord take it?
We've got one shot here. The checkered flag has now just fallen. I'll always keep my eye briefly on Webbsy, who was pushing towards the line but just missed out on starting with a lap, so he'll start P10 at best after applying Sargent's penalty. Landlord though, he's the main threat to Imrie's pole position. Fan of the line, P5 for him. Only Landlord and Lucky to come across the line yet. I believe that Lucky will be the last one through. Landlord, is that a tap of the wall there I saw making his way through into turn 18 and putting into the pit lane, and that will more or less do it unless Lucky has anything up his sleeve. He doesn't. He's 7/10 down, which means pole position goes to Imrie in the Ferrari.
Yeah, very good there by Imrie. 2 really good qualifying performances in the past 2 races on his return back here in RDL. So really good restart here for Imrie, and it's all about making sure you don't have the mistakes. We saw it last season when Imrie joined midway through. A lot of little mistakes during the races, so hopefully it'll be ironed out for this one. This is the crown jewel. If you win this, you have so much momentum behind you, so it'd be very good for Imrie to get this win under the belt. So it'd be interesting to see what he can do, but having Landlord behind, who is immense at Monaco, absolutely immense, so it'd be interesting to see how these two will battle each other.
Should be very entertaining indeed. So there's your top 8 before we go into the race. Imrie starts on pole, Landlord will go alongside towards turn 1, Grovey in 3rd, Grumio 4th, Fan takes 5th, Slazenger 6th, that'll become P11 once his grid penalty is applied, BJ 7th, and JB round at your top 8. So that is qualifying. We're back with you in a few minutes time for the start of the race. Welcome back then to round 7 of the Racers Driving League Season 16. The crown jewel of the calendar, the Monaco Grand Prix, is moments away from getting underway. Pope, we should be in for perhaps a slightly more cagey affair, if I'm completely honest, given the nature of Monaco. But of course, as a Monaco winner yourself, how do you approach this Grand Prix? I think we simply have to know.
It's very, very different to how you approach qualifying. I think qualifying you can kind of push that 102%. Obviously, I would suggest pushing 110% on most circuits in qualifying. However, around Monaco, you do really need to obviously push as fast as you can, but really remember that you put one tyre in the wrong place and that's your race done. That's your race done, that's you getting front wing damage. And we know how easy it is to get front wing damage on this circuit. And this season in these cars, I've struggled immensely at the start of this season when I was reserving, getting damage from events that I didn't even think I should have got damage. So it is going to be very hard. Jamie's retired.
We have a lobby restart. We had someone ready up early.
Oh, brilliant.
So we'll be back.
Okay.
We'll be back shortly. Then we do apologise for the inconvenience. Back with you shortly. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologise for the brief wait there. We should be ready to go for round 7 of the season, the Monaco Grand Prix getting underway in just a few moments' time with the formation lap second attempt. And of course, we've sort of covered all the pre-race stuff there, so we'll sort of wait for the lap to get underway. But 39 laps, it should be very...
Let's hope so. It can be quite difficult to have an entertaining race, I'm sure, in a commentary booth, but I feel like this is what maybe having a driver who is still pretty recently passed on from driving can kind of give a bit of insight to what the drivers are thinking and what the drivers are doing all the time, which, trust me, around the circuit, your brain's working at 1,000,000 miles an hour. This is literally a fantastic place to keep your mind moving, and it's something that you do kind of have to prepare for, because while at other tracks, I would say the likes of Belgium, because it's such a long track, you just get into a rhythm, you kind of turn your brain off a little bit. This track, you have to do so much in such a small amount of time. It's something, I think it's like 70 gear changes over this lap.
70, yeah?
I think so. I believe that's the stat that was said on the past previous games. I can't remember necessarily which one it was. But it's like, 70 gear changes in 19 corners is the most in this small amount of time. I'll have to double check on that one, but I think it is that much, which is crazy in 1 minute. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's quite the feat. Plus, obviously, factoring that we're doing that for 39 laps. But regardless, we should be in for an absolute blast of a Grand Prix today. So we'll have a look at our starting grid. There's only 16 cars with us on the grid tonight. So starting last, Courtney Goblin in the Haas there. I believe did he get out for qualifying lap? Do we know, Pope, or not? Did he get out for one in the end?
No, he did not. I just want to change my number. It was 50. 50 shifts.
Okay, close enough.
No,
right.
It's not ridiculous.
Red J lines up on the back row alongside Courtney Goblin for Ferrari. Alongside him, debutant Leo H1768119. We'll call him Leo for short. In the Mercedes. Barry used to race in this league. Barry 317. He raced between seasons 3 and 7. He drives at AlphaTauri on his return tonight. Lucky Lambert lines up in P12 in the Aston Martin Websy. P11 in the Haas. Of course, the Haas in which Pope took victory last season. I'll go that in one more time before we get into this one. The two Alpines take up row 5 just inside the top 10 there. PJ and Ethan, but just outside of the points. That last spot in the points is occupied by JB, who nabbed the podium finish here last time around, looking to potentially repeat that feat, but he's got a much tougher task around him this season, given how strong this field is, especially the cars in front of him. That top 7. BJ Lyon's been 7th place for McLaren alongside him. Schleisinger in the end gets his 5-second grid penalty removed, so starts P6. The two decided that the penalty was unfair in the restart and ruled him back in P6 again. Fan obviously took the points from this season, from this race last season. Pope was a reserve at the time, so Fans 25 points for finishing 2nd. He lines up in 5th place today. Grumio lines up 4th, 7 points back from Landon in the championship. Groby 3rd, but Groby was beaten by Grumio last week at Imola narrowly in a very close race, denying her of her first league win in the RDL. Lands on your points leader, lines up in 2nd place, just alongside our pole sitter, Imri, who is on pole for the 2nd week in a row.
Yeah, very good. Like we mentioned to in qualifying, very good. Return to RDL after that week away for Imri, doing very well to really restart and kick in that RDL career. One thing I am noticing in the benefit of looking on this T camera is how cold those tyres are compared to the hards to the mediums. Could that pay dividends at the start of this race? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, it's time to find out. 5 red lights here for the Monaco Grand Prix of season 16. Lights up, foot to the floor. Go, go, go. We're underway in the Principality. Imri leads. They charge towards turn 1. Groby to the inside of Landlord. They're taking away 2nd place. They go up the hill through that first corner. Grumio and Fan go side by side. Lucky, Leo and Barry all going against each other as they run up the hill towards the end of the first sector here. Fantastic away from Imri. Late challenge towards the first corner. The second phase of the start there from Groby, but he leads away from Groby and then Landlord in 3rd place.
Lovely stuff. So now everything's going to kind of fall in one by one. We see, though, Websy trying to make a move around the outside of PJ. I think he's pulled that off. That is a ridiculous move. Fantastic. Also see Leo trying to get upside, inside of Lucky, but Lucky defending that just enough. That was a really good start and really good move there by Websy. But like May mentioned too, Imri flying away right now. here in Monaco, trying to get a 1 second lead on Grovey. You're going to really see their style of driving on show here. We get to see them in P1 and 2, but Landlord's going to be a bit annoyed in that cockpit of the car, obviously losing P2 on the first straight, even before the first corner.
Well, he's got 38 laps to get it back. So Imrie completes the first lap of the race. Is 1.2 seconds to good now. Grovey in second place and landed, as you say, in that third spot. In terms of the starting tyres, we didn't quite go through it. We made a brief mention of the tyres, but of course those guys, 5 out of the top 6, all on medium tyres. PJ Callaghan P11 with them. Hard tyres for the rest of the field, except for Red Joe, who goes on softs there. So definitely some differing strategy choices to be pondered over around sort of the halfway mark. And we should expect everyone into the pits.
Yeah, obviously Red J will probably peel into pits lap 13. The medium tyres probably lap 17, and the hard tyres lap 22 is what my guess would be. Obviously not making mention that there probably will be at least one safety car here at Monaco. We know obviously in the past few years has been a little bit glitched. However, it's a track that does harbour that Burt Mylanders use. So be interesting to see if anyone's strategy goes along that, but we're already getting to that point where the drivers are already going to try and settle down a little bit. Everything's going one by one, and annoyingly for us, it's not necessarily in terms of on-track action battling right now, but it will be a lot of strategy play already.
I'd argue that a lot of the battling in Monaco is more done in the mind as opposed to on the racetrack with the same width on a circuit, perhaps to say like Mexico or Japan. But Imrie leads then. He's pulled out 2 seconds already within 2 laps. No threat of DRS whatsoever as DRS gets enabled by race control on lap 3. Anyone with a second of the car in front in the DRS zone, just the one of which on the main straight can be used in today's race. Landlord will be looking to take advantage of that, but he's got to close up to Grovey a lot more here. But of course, he's got to keep focused on his teammate behind as well, who will be looking to try and close points in the championship. As of right now, it does look like Landlord will be getting just the 1 point on Grimmer as it stands. Of course, third place getting 6 points and fourth place getting 5. So just the 1 point add to Landlord's 7 points advantage.
Yeah, I'm still going to have to get used to that point structure. I cannot lie to you. I know it obviously goes up by 1, but it really does. Well, it goes up by 1 till P2, and then it goes up by 2. P1. I'm not very good with numbers. I'm so used to the old system.
It'll take some time, I think. I mean, I'm still getting used to it myself, but I definitely like the numbers side, especially when counting sort of championship scenarios. So that's always been my sort of area there. But of course, that'll be when we get more towards the business end of the season. But right now we are on lap 4 of round 7, so still plenty of time for things to change in that respect. Imrie then 2.2 now to the good. Landlord still 7/10 back, but he's pulled a second on Grumio, so the 3-time champion pulling away from the 6-time champ, his teammate there in the other Williams. And Barry gets the first time penalty of the night. That's 3 seconds for multiple warnings. I imagine he may have got that last warning at turn 1. That curve would be very difficult if you're running too much on it. And Red J right now at the very back of the pack, keeping Courtney Goblin at bay for P15.
Yeah, Red J is doing very well on those soft tyres to keep Courtney behind, but those soft tyres are going to do nothing but get worse over time. So obviously Courtney will be looking to make a move. What I am noticing already is Imrie's pulled that gap out, fantastic, but now he's kind of stagnating a little bit. Maybe he's overheated those tyres a little bit too much in the early part of this race, which is not something that you want to do, but it's just kind of keeping that lap time the same, which does not really harbour well for him, because if you go to the gap to the leader, it's only 11 seconds. Obviously, I know in 4 laps it's bound to get a lot bigger, but if it does start to stagnate a little bit, if Imrie has to pit on those mediums, he come out behind those hard tyre runners, which then lends into Bruno's favour. So something to keep an eye out for.
Definitely, of course, plenty of time for that to come into play in this race. But yeah, you're definitely right. He has stagnated in terms of the amount he's pulling away. The gap now 2.4, so he's gaining those extra 2 or 4 tenths in about only over the course of sort of 3 laps. So in the first 2 laps, he gained about a second per circuit. So he's definitely, I think he maybe starting to get back onto it again. Oh, yellow flag. Yellow flag, that is in the Lowe's hairpin. Not sure who that actually is though.
I think it's a big one. Turn 6. Obviously, I think there's a lot of things. I think JB's lost the position. Websy is in P8 all of a sudden, so I'm not too sure what's happened. Let's see if anyone's got any damage as well.
Crucial that this will break up the train. So the top 7 now pulling away quite a bit more, whereas Websy holds the last point spot and sits seven seconds back from BJ. So he's now got JB, PJ, Lucky, Leo, Barry, Ethan, all there with him. Courtney Goblin's found his way around Red J now. Red J's lost his front wing, so that must be maybe what the yellow's for.
That probably is what it is for. That is not good. Not the list. The one bit of equipment that you really do need on this circuit is your front wing to generate that downforce. Obviously, someone else peeling, a couple of people peeling into the pits. Websy in the pits, Lucky in the pits. They've got damage. Ethan, the Alpine's got damage as well. So it's not visible, but clearly going to affect them around the circuits. So, 4 people in the pits already. Lap 6. That's obviously kind of stumped their progress in this race a little bit, and are going to have to hope out for a safety car later on.
I mean, there's always an opportunity for it, you never know. Imri has put out 3.3 seconds now, so in that time he's managed to get back on his skates again, and Landlord has also got on his skates. He's now just 2 tenths behind Grovey, and potentially could be looking at a move down the main straight if he can stay close enough, but Grovey pulling away there. Landlord, I think, had a bit of a slower run through the chicane. He's made their way through around the swimming pool section once again. Keep an eye on things, because we're mentioning qualifying just the differences between Grovey's driving style compared to, say, that of our Pulsar to Imri. Grovey was a bit more balls to the wall with it, going all out, just trying to find those extra few tenths. And it did work briefly, especially around the start of the lap. But I imagine on that first lap she was a bit slower in her first sector, but then picked up over the rest of the lap, because that's where she really seemed to struggle.
I think Grovey's...
Oh, contact! There goes Landlord around, and Grumio gives him a slight nudge on the way past. Very close there. Oh no! And it's come across Slazenger, and that's a huge roadblock there. He's got a bit of time to get it going, but in the end, Landlord and particularly Slazenger end up with the worst of it.
That's such a shame for Slazenger. Literally a sitting butt that obviously would have had knowledge of those yellow flags up ahead, but there's not really much when you can see a spinning Williams up ahead of you. That's the issue with trying to make those moves around this type of circuit. It does not end well. It's very, very hard to make an overtake, especially if you believe you're so much faster than the driver ahead, but really put Slazenger in a bad position. Obviously no front wings have to come in and get that change, which is going to kind of ruin the strategy of Slazenger, so big shame for him there.
Definitely. I mean, he's still there on the points, but I imagine he'll lose a decent chunk of that time changing the wings. It gives him a lot more work to do in this Grand Prix. He's still losing the time now, because obviously he still wants to navigate the rest of the lap before he can make that first stop. So that moves Landlord down to P5 now, puts Grumio in P3. Now he gets his turn to try and take on Grovey. I think perhaps with the lessons learned from the last lap, I don't imagine he'll go for it where Landlord did, but look at Grumio really hounding the back of that Red Bull over the first sector. And I see Fan closing a little bit as well. He's 1.6 back from Grumio, but he has picked up a time penalty there. It's 3 seconds for track limits. So I imagine he'll have that in mind when chasing those guys down. All of this has allowed Imri to put his lead. He's now 6.2 seconds in front. So the cars in second and third place tangling has left Imri in a very, very good position. And I know it's very early on, Pope, but could we be looking at potential Imri first race victory?
Let's hope for Imri, because it's really opened a new page on the book, especially comparing it to the start of this season, the first few races, and last season. It's done fantastic, really kind of ironed out those mistakes. It's what we knew Imri could do. We've been saying it all this time. It's been very unlike Imri to make these silly mistakes that I'm sure he won't mind me saying. So it's very good to see him put in a fantastic performance so far, and hopefully it can continue. But obviously, when you're going to see the hard tyres, just going to get better, and Grumio, if he can make his way past Grovey, I think Grovey's kind of just lost a bit of pace here. Maybe a bit out of routine after that incident with Landlord, and it's just really heartbreaking. Oh! More contact between a Williams and a Red Bull. This is very, very close between those two.
What? Sorry, I had my Landlord changing his wing. What happened, Bob?
Just a tap from the rear from Grumio to Grovey. This is just going to give Imri the advantage, a huge advantage as well. This is exactly what Imri would want, especially when you've got the pace to kind of put a bit of pressure on the cars behind to get past. Yes, this is fantastic for Imri, but very, very close to another big collision there at turn 3 once again.
As it stands right now, we've got 2 Williams cars who are competing for podium place, and two Williams and a Red Bull competing for podium place, and a Williams and a Red Bull down at the outside of the outside of the top 8 right now. Of course, in terms of the Drivers' Championship, those two teams are on 1, 2, 3, 4. Grovey looks to break the deadlock between her and Slazenger by quite a way here. This could look into push. If something goes wrong with Grumio, she could push herself into second place in the Drivers' Championship. But of course, with Lando without the points right now, that's a big opportunity for Grumio. As of right now, he'll put himself 1 point out of the lead, and Grovey will put herself within 6 points of first place.
Yeah, this is really hard defending. I know, obviously.
Oh, that was close.
Lord. Oh, heart in mouth moment there.
Definitely.
So this is just a very interesting battle to keep an eye on here. I do have to say, but obviously it's gonna be very hard to make that move. Another little battle that is brewing up is PJ and JB.
Keep an eye on these two here.
Interested to see what these guys can do. Obviously, PJ on the so-called softer tyre compound and faster tyre compound, but obviously at this point in the race, those hard tyres are really going to come into their own. And JB's put some really good performances recently, so it's good to see him showing off that pace and collecting some points.
We say that, however, so far he's had a lot of top 10 finishes, but those finishes are only so far warranted. Just the 1 point was ever so far this season, so I think he's waiting to try and get some more on the board here. But today serves a fantastic opportunity for him to do so, as it stands. I believe Lando's come back into the pit lane here, so he's had to potentially have made another change. So he's down to P15 now, so I'd argue that Lando more or less out of contention to even so much to score points today, short of the safety car. We never quite know. Imri continues to stretch his advantage. He is now 9.2 to the good point. We are 11 laps into this race. We've completed 10 full laps. So he's pulled out almost a second a lap, which is fantastic.
Very, very good pace here by Imri. Really going to lap his teammate as well, which is something that the Ferrari garage will not really want to see. But I am just looking at this, and once again, if you have a look at the back of Imri's car, you can see that red light flashing.
You can.
So he's still using a lot of VRS in this position. This is where I would differ to him completely. I would be saving that. Obviously, you might be wondering why are you saving that? I'd use quite a bit of it, 40%, but it's just incredible that Imri is still confident to use his tyres to their max and use all his pace. Fantastic to watch, I do have to say.
Indeed. Lap 12 might get underway here. Lucky Lambert leaving the pit lane here. So it looks like he and Reggio with the first ones to go laps down as Imri looking to catch him. But he's got to be careful with this. He's got to play it quite safe here. He's got the lead to play around with, so he doesn't need to focus too much on perhaps being taken by surprise by perhaps Grovey or Grumio back there. He's got 10 seconds more or less on those two. It is 10 seconds now. He continues to stretch his advantage while Grovey keeps Grumio at bay. And now Fan closing that gap too. And I've always said this about Monaco, that we always have a leader who pulls out an advantage, but then over the rest of the race gets closed down by either one car or a small group of cars. And it's always entertaining to watch to see if they might catch them. Oh, Imri, a bit of a slide there going through, going towards the tunnel. And perhaps those medium tyres take a lot of punishment so far. But of course, he's also got to get a set hard to the end as well. However, with the gap he's pulled out, is there any chance he can play around with just a bit more poke? What do you reckon? In terms of those tyres.
It's a tough one, that. Obviously, putting it in my shoes, you like to just go with a conformal strategy, especially around this circuit where you don't really want to test too much the water. Oh,
front wing gloss for Reggio. VSC is deployed.
VSC. Okay, if I was Grovey, straight into pits. Straight into pits at this point. Get those hard tyres on, take them to the rest of the race. You're going to save a pit stop strategy.
Doing it, and so is Fan.
Doing that, and Fan, yeah. Both medium tyres, fantastic strategy call there by the pair of them. Imri doesn't need to worry. Really does not need to worry at this point. He's still got a pace to really improve it, just to see what their pace is like. If Imri does come out now, I would say Grumio will win the race. I know it's a very bold statement to say, but this is where you gain the time. This is what you were saying about a pack of cars gaining upon that leader after a big gap.
Green
this
flag.
Is where it's really gained. Green flag running, but yeah, if I was Imri, just go with a conformal strategy. Don't do anything super special. There's no need.
Pick up something very tense there. Oh, contact!
Oh!
And that is Leo and Barry.
Yeah.
There was almost a very, I'm not sure if you saw it, but there was a very nasty shunt down the main straight that could have been so much worse. These guys almost going 3 abreast, but Leo has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car, so Delta's just caught him out. B-Jap is inside, going into the Lowe's hairpin. He'll be on the outside this time. Does he still try and go for it? This could be very gutsy indeed from BJ, or a slight bit of content, but he's gone away with it. He's got the place as BJ, and he's looking to start pull away. As Fan gets another 5 seconds now for corner cutting. He's got 8 seconds of penalties, Pope. I dare say he can probably keep up with this lead pack, but these chances of perhaps of what's it called? Of finishing on the podium, sorry, so it might be gone. There we go. It took 2 minutes to get the words out.
Just noticed. Emery is in the pit, so
Emery
reacting to the other drivers. Fair enough, good reactions. Just kind of getting that sector 2 and sector 3. You got your yellow flag. That was brief. I'm not really too sure what that was, but
it's Barry. Barry's got no front wing.
Ooh.
He's in the pit, but he's in the pits. Nice and safe. So by all means, carry him.
Lovely stuff. And that is, I think, Red J. No, it's Emery.
Emery, what's up?
I think Emery. No,
I
don't really know what happened there. Maybe it was Red J.
It was Red J. Emery's going towards the tunnel right now. It's Red J.
Oh my lord! I just saw Red J driving. I thought Emery spun it or something. That was heart in mouth. But Emery's gained dramatically on Grumio. Now, this is also where it plays into Grove's advantage. Grovey's been fantastic at saving ERS this season and tyres this season. Red Bull team have always been pretty good at that with their car, but Emery will be gaining on Groovy.
Oh, JB's out.
No.
Crashed at the chicane, and that could be a safety car, potentially. And Slazenger has compounded the situation.
Got into it.
And that's another virtual safety car.
Virtual safety car.
But Slazenger again losing his front wing there, and then JBD spawns. That is a painful sight to see. The poor Slazenger, who's been caught out, unfortunately, twice in this Grand Prix now.
Yeah, a lot of rotten luck there. It's a shame for JB as well. He was doing so well. And PJ changed the front wing. PJ was running behind JB, so maybe he got a little bit of contact from whatever happened there, or a little bit of damage, sorry, from whatever happened there. So the RS back enabled. Virtual safety car has ended. We see 2 Alpines now in the top 8. Fantastic performance by these two right now.
Definitely. We'll see Leo on his way through though, looking to try and take P8 if he can, but comes out just behind Websy and PJ there. We'll see what he can do. But of course, on those 14-lap-old hard tyres, yet to make his first stop. JB then becomes the first retiree of this Monaco Grand Prix. Hopefully the last one. Hopefully we won't see any more retirements today. We are nearing the halfway stage now, Pope. So not much longer to go till we reach that sort of that pit window where I imagine we'll see Grumio come in and then he'll go on a chase to the end. What I have seen drivers do in the past though, especially the drivers who are doing the chasing to the leader, I've seen them try and start on the hard tyres, go on as long as they can, and then put on a set of softs to go full balls to the wall for the last 10 laps or so. And in a lot of cases, it pays off in a sense that they catch the leader, but they just can't pass them. And that's the case, I think, of just Monaco being a ball late to overtake it.
I think you're completely right on that. I think that's what Grumio is going to plan to do. Obviously, you want to keep Emery there as long as possible, because you also want to bring Grovey back into it. It sounds weird in terms of why would you let a competitor get back into the race, but for Grumio, it's not really too worried about Grovey in this situation, because he's already passed Grovey. Obviously in the pit lane, granted, but he's already passed Grovey at this point in a race, and will be on the faster side dramatically. But it's also to give a bit of challenge to Emery, so they're both wearing each other out. Very, very smart if he does that. It will be interesting to see.
We'll have to wait and just see what the plan is for the 6-time drivers champion as he starts lap 17 of this race. 4.5 seconds to the good right now on him, who is closing that gap, but doesn't need to push it too hard, and he's still running quite low on the ERS. That red light isn't flashing anymore, but he's got it only just over the mark if I'm looking at it. It looks as though the ERS, from what I'm seeing it on its wheel, is about I want to say about 13% right now. I feel like I can see a 3, but it looks like a 23, but there's no way it's that high up. Just based on the, I think since we stopped using the telemetry on the stream, I've gotten used to sort of trying to read the ERS on the wheel. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it's obviously exciting to do stuff like that. It's very interesting to see. That's why I always keep an eye out. I love my energy usage notes. I think it's great. It's something that I really study in how drivers race.
Definitely a crucial tool in the path to victory, especially in the RDL World Course or every last 10th lap. So we've got a pit stop going here. So that's Leo making what looked to be his first tyre change of the race onto a set of medium tyres. I doubt those take him to the end, if I'm completely honest. I doubt he'll get to the end on those.
How many laps is that? It's only 20 laps, 21 laps. Yeah, a bit too far maybe. Obviously a light fuel load, so might be okay, but be interesting to see. I'm not too sure though. There's a yellow flag again.
Oh, Barry.
For Barry.
Retire from the session while the car is still driving. And Leo's lost his swing again.
Shame for Leo.
Wait, no, sorry, not again. Yeah, he didn't listen to the first time, I think. I'll just check, make sure that was his first. Yeah, that was his first stop. So he hadn't lost it yet. But he just made a stop.
Big shame for Leo, because obviously coming in the first race this season, it being Monaco, it's very, very hard. I do have to say so. Big shame for him to have to make another pit stop, especially when you've just made your first one. It's a bit of a nightmare, but looking back up front, obviously it's kind of the closest battle we have. We have obviously Websy and DJ in a second, but Imrie barreling towards Grumio. So it'll be interesting to see these two have a bit of a tussle.
It's going to be close, but Imrie, of course, has to be careful because, in all reality, while he'll definitely lose time behind Grumio, he doesn't absolutely need to take him on. At least not as far as I am aware, because he's going to get back in the lead regardless. It's going to be quite an advantage. We are sort of counting it to Grovey right now because it's increasingly obvious that she'll emerge once everything cycles through. She'll emerge in second place. It just depends on how big a gap it is to Grumio, who'll end up being third because Fan has come into the pit lane here to serve that 5-second penalty and put on his medium tyres to go to the end on. So Imrie, in theory, doesn't really need to. It is not absolutely not 100% necessary for him to get around Grumio, but you can imagine he'd want to get around and to sort of gain time to Grovey. I mean, 8.2 seconds is still quite a gap, but it's down from what it was earlier.
Yeah, it's something that's quite interesting. This is where I like this part of the race, because you've got Imrie, who is obviously quite a bit faster, obviously on fresher tyres than Grumio, and has a wicked pace today, the entirety of it. So it's interesting to see if Imrie, just by natural pace, will be able to get past Grumio, but Imrie cannot get frustrated in this situation. You just have to realise, okay, like you say, let's just sit behind. I don't mind sitting behind someone, because Grumio is not going to let Imrie past easily. Not a chance. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to him. See if Imrie gets frustrated as he tries to make a move down the inside. We've seen that happen before with Landlord Imrie. We don't want to see it to happen to you.
In fairness, like, Imrie was quite well ahead when that happened, so it wouldn't surprise me if he hadn't seen it. But I did see him using his overtake as he made his way up the hill there. So I think he'll be looking potentially at a pass in the tunnel if he can if he can stay close enough. I have to wait and see what he does here. Can he find a way around Grumio? He needs a better exit than the Williams, which I don't think he's got that time. So I think chances are he may wait until the main straight.
The DRS is so powerful, the main straight is actually a very viable overtaking opportunity now, and I personally love it. I think it's fantastic. But one thing I am noticing is Grumio is very much focusing on these exits of the corners, and Imrie is starting to really put the power down very, very quickly. Obviously has the grip to do so, so might as well make the most of it. But you want to see Imrie trying to set up a move for this main straight. DRS will be actually very, very close. Imrie should be able to breeze past Grumio here.
Around the outside, he does. Yeah. And Grumio lets him have it, more or less. Imrie back in the lead.
Surprising that for Grumio. I think Grumio is going to try and settle for second place, but if I was Grumio, I'd love it too much. I think I just saw Imrie's red light flash again, so maybe definitely set at 10% place on battery as well.
He may have just pulled back up again. I think he has, yes. But he is around that 10% sort of margin. We'll see at what point if it comes back on again. Sergeant Jeff fighting back right now. He's back into P11. As of right now, Websy is the currently speak. Websy is currently in Raskas as Sergeant makes his way towards the swimming pool. So it's a tough ask, but you never know. Given the right circumstances, he's got 18 laps to run down Websy to try and nick a point for this race. And make that C110P fan. Oh, was that damage there for fan? It is, yes, end plate.
Yeah, end plate's gone, so let's see fan going into the pits. This like look at the lack of downforce that McLaren has got now, which is not going to be great news for fan, but good news for Schlesinger, who's one last car to overtake on his track to get some recovery points after this. After an unfortunate bad look, like really bad in this race, it'd be nice to at least a point on the board.
Well, there's 2 cars he needs to get around. One of them needs to pit, and the other one is right there in front of him from getting to P9, start chasing down Webs. It'll be about 11, 12 seconds to him, I think, once things cycle through. But he's got to find a way around Lucky quickly. He can't take too many chances. Lucky covers him off there to try the right-hand side going into the chicane. It's been very tight between them. Lucky lets him have it. Schlesinger now in P10. Fan will soon pit, and now he's got 18 laps to try and chase down Websy. He's got 11 seconds to close. Can he do it with 18 laps to go?
Well, bear in mind, Ethan does have a 3-second time penalty that he's just picked up, so could try and do it on a technicality, but I'm sure Schlesinger will want to make sure he's P8 on track just to solidify it that little bit more. But having a look at up front, even Grovy's starting to stagnate a little bit towards Grunio, so Grovey, fantastic pace in qualifying, but he's not really conveyed it as well as the likes of Imrie has into the race format. So interesting to see, but still doing very well. Grovey's been a sensation to this league, I do have to say. She's really took it by storm and has had such consistent performances. It's really impressive.
It's always good to see the competition increasingly just get more and more strong, but there's always been a good sense of camaraderie around the league as well, which is always good to see. I mean, everyone gets along very nicely. Imrie's still showing the way though. 4.4 to the good right now, and Grovey is 7.3 back. So yeah, you are right. She has stagnated a little bit, but she's still closing that gap. It was 8 seconds a few laps ago, so she's getting there, but just perhaps a bit slower than she might have liked. But she's still around 11, 12 seconds behind our race leader with 16 to go.
Yeah, I think that's the point of. Remember, these hard tyres compared to Grunio's are 12 laps longer, so they should be really gaining quite a bit. But got to a point where I think the freshness and the benefit is kind of really stopped here. But something to keep an eye out for anyway. We'll see if Grovey's able to take any more time out of Grunio. But I think Grunio would definitely be going on to soft tyres at the end of this race. So I'd be excited to see that final push. Obviously, we'll be probably ahead in front of BJ. BJ maybe even have to pit again during this race, same with Landlord, so it'll be interesting to see if those 3 drivers go on to soft tyres. Fan going on soft tyres as we speak as well.
Bold choice from the reigning champion as he makes that wing change as well, yes. And now coming back out onto the racetrack, sits himself in P12 right now. In terms of gap to Ethan, 8th place, we are currently looking at around, I'm not too sure from us. We're probably looking at around 25, maybe 30 seconds, or if that. I mean, he's 40 seconds back from Connie Goblin, so this could be potentially a lot of trouble for Fan. I believe he's got to get back on the lead lap first. So I believe Imrie's already behind.
Past his teammate.
Oh, yellow flag on the main straight, and that is that's just left Leo allowing. Oh, his contact. He's lost his end plate. I believe has he lost the other one too? He hasn't, but the one on the right is gone. And that could be potential further trouble for Leo.
Risky there by the McLarens. I'm just seeing, obviously, Fan and BJ are very good at teamwork, but BJ letting Fan go, obviously on the soft tyres makes sense, but it's just really putting back in the grips of Landlord again. So interesting to see the battle between those. Obviously, BJ's going to probably beg Fan for a little bit of DRS if possible, but I think Fan might be a little bit too far ahead. So yeah, quite interesting to see that. Yeah, no DRS for BJ, but Landlord now back in the grips of BJ.
He is indeed, and as of right now, scoring 4 points for his championship, which means that the championship now sits at 3 points between the 2 leaders in the standings. I think an Imrie victory here will put him on 19 points, which should see him move into 5th place in front of Fan, as Leo gets a 5-second penalty there for speeding in the pit lane. And now making it. Oh, he's lost his wing completely here. Medium tyres going on, and a front wing change as well. But he's still going. 15 laps from still to be run. So we'll see if he can still bring it back to the flag.
Yep, well, Ethan's also going in the pits, which means Slazenger is now currently in P8, which is fantastic. Great recovery so far for Slazenger. We'll see if he's able to maybe even get P7 from Websy. That'll be a very good recovery, like we say, for Slazenger in this race.
Indeed. I see Lucky Lambo, Cody Goblin, still on nose to tail for P9 right now. They're about 7 seconds back from Slazenger. And just in front of them there is the Ferrari of Imri. So just put him behind. Fan there, the fastest lap, 1 minute 10.9 there. So Fan clearly showing some pace on those soft tyres already. He's gaining almost. He's gaining about a tenth every few seconds or so. If I'm completely honest, he's on the move. Remember, I said it was about 40 seconds back. That gap is now at 28, so he's closing on Ethan. If he keeps on this pace, potentially could catch him. You never know.
Yeah, it's incredible pace so far here by C110P Farm. Obviously, this year's generation of cars, I think people really do prefer a certain tyre. I mean, I've always preferred a medium tyre. I think everyone knows that, but Fan always loves going on a different tyre to everyone else. It just seems to happen all the time. I think people letting it intro through. One thing I'm going to take an eye on is Landlord is going to make a move on BJ. No, not into the chicane. Not a chance there for Landlord and BJ. No silly moves there, and trying really close behind BJ. So maybe looking for a move on the start finish straight. We'll have to wait and see. I
dare say Landlord may have learned his lesson about making sort of those slightly more risky moves given what happened earlier on in the race. I mean, he's fought back to it, so fair play to him. But of course, he will still end up behind Grovey at this point, looking to fight back and reclaim second place, which most likely goes the way of his teammate right now, who may catch Grovey by the end. You have to wait and see what goes on there. But Imri will have run those. He'll have run those hard tyres for about 25 laps when he gets to the end of this Grand Prix. So those tyres will be quite warm. Grimmo's run his to 26, so with the tyres managed well enough, they can go that far. But of course, there'll always be the threat of Grimmio, I imagine, a set of soft tyres hunting these two down.
Well, for Imri, this is where the tactics come into play now. Obviously, the gap to lead is 16 seconds there for Imri to Grovey. Grumio's going to pit for softs. This is where you have to be very smart. If I was Imri, I'd pit for softs. You know you'll have the pace ahead of Grovey. You've pulled a tremendous gap, 16 seconds on the same tyre. So if you can do that, even more so on a fresh set of the fastest tyre, there's nothing to lose there for Imri. Obviously, you could get Grovey doing a stout defence, which don't put it past it. It would be fantastic, but I think for Imri, if Grumio pits, you have to pit as well. You have to react to that.
I think so as well. Yes. There is a chance that, but there's also an argument that says potentially play it safer and don't play around with the gap. But those soft tyres perhaps might be looking a bit more tempting now. Landlord's got onto them as well. And Imri's disconnected. This could be huge.
Oh no. We'll try and get Imri in as quickly as possible. I ran with this sending invite to Imri.
He's coming in.
Oh no.
And they're putting back another set of hard tyres on.
That is just heartbreaking, to be quite honest.
He's rejoined,
Obviously,
but it's too little too late now.
Grumio needs to pit as quickly as possible. To pass the last time. Even Grovey's ahead of Imri. This is what I mean. If Imri went on those soft tyres, he would have been there, but the game's screwing over Imri. I feel nothing but sorry for Imri, who's drove a flawless race. Absolutely flawless, and due to connection errors, it looks to be losing this race. This is genuinely heartbreaking for him.
Saying that, I mean, obviously he's on hard tyres, whereas he could be on softs. However, he can still. He's on. You got to remember, he's on hard tyres that are now 16 laps fresher than Grovey's there. So catching her should be it's like the easier matter bit. It'll be the concern of chasing down Grumio or having Grumio hunting him in the late stages, as well as pulling out a lead laps he couldn't have done on the soft tyres as well. Also, he caught his team at Red J at a very uncomfortable place on the circuit now, and Red J's got no choice but to sit on the line there, and that was contact. Was that end plate losses for him? I don't think it was. It's not, so he's safe. I thought it was for a second. He's coming in again.
Imri's coming in pits. I think he did get damage from Red Jade there. Even the slightest bit of damage here, you do need to think it. Soft tyres.
No wing change.
No wing change. Soft tyres.
And now the change.
Will probably be a head out of BJ. It'll be very close between these two, though.
I think he'll make it, just about.
So, oh yeah, quite a bigger gap than I expected, actually.
Well.
But Grumio on mediums, I'd gone on softs if I was Grumio, because Imri will be charging at rapid knots, obviously not as quickly as if Grumio went on hard tyres. But interesting to see Grovey now in P1. I bet you didn't expect to be in this position with 9 laps remaining. Could really do well here. Obviously playing into an unfortunate event for Imri. And a questionable strategy call, I do have to say, from Grumio.
Yellow flag, and that's some saves of Leo who's gone around as virtual safety card's been deployed.
Virtual safety card again, another front wing loss for Leo, and once again Grovey will be rubbing her hands at this.
Could she stop here and set soft tyres? She is!
She does! No!
And this race is medium tyres going to Grovey's car, but this race is playing into Red Bull's hands absolutely perfectly here, ladies and gentlemen. Grumio may emerge here potentially with the lead. Imri may not get, or will not get out in front. Grumio looks to retake the lead here potentially. It's going to be close. Grumio now back in front, and it looks to all of a sudden be his race. However, this is what we came to see here, and Imri's come back in.
I don't know why Imri.
And Red J almost holding him up in the pits there. That was very close indeed. Wing change.
Imri's got a front. This is turned crazy. Grovey, why have you pit? Why have you pit?
Daniel Ricciardo style heartbreak here for Imri at the Monaco Grand Prix. He finds himself in 6th place with just 8 laps to go. This has very quickly turned into an old F1 2013 scenario mode style challenge for Imri to recover as many places as he can here. But the disconnection has definitely put his race to bed. And I dare say, he could probably, unless it was damage, I think it was, he probably could have stayed in the mediums. Why did Grovey come into the pit lane? This race looks to be Grumio's.
I'm baffled. I'm completely baffled. Unless granted those tyres were very, very warm, but we saw Grumio do 28 laps. You could have easily took those tyres to the end of the race. I'm genuinely shocked at what we've just seen in the past 2 laps. I'm quite frankly baffled. BJ, 18 lap old mediums.
On for a podium.
Obviously, Landlaw behind is going to charge at a rate of knots. I do have to say, but wow, what a great drive so far from BJ. Really well done.
Definitely. We haven't said a lot about him in this race, but he's got the opportunity to go with both hands. Imri looking to get right to work here. He's 35 seconds off the lead. I doubt he'll catch Grumio, but if he can try and somehow still nab a podium, if he wants to nab a podium, he's got to take 15 seconds out of BJ's advantage. So he can still take a top 3 here, but he's got to get right to work and post those qualifying style laps that we know he's capable of over the course of the rest of this race. But this looks like Grumio's race to lose now. He's building a lead on Grovey, and it looks like once again this result is about to go the same way as it did last week, but through a very, very different means, Pope.
Yeah, I think it will end very, very similar to last week. Like I said, it doesn't surprise me. Imola and Monaco, very similar tracks, but I'm speechless. I am absolutely speechless. Unless Grovey meant to go on softs, 10.8 on the medium tyres, fantastic lap there by Grumio. Obviously has a lot of fresh air compared to these other drivers. 10.2 on those soft tyres, 6/10 gap, pretty accurate to what it is. Fun, setting another great lap time. Obviously no point for these fastest laps. Reminder, I remind myself as well. But Grovey could have been on for a first race win.
I suppose the thought of coming in under that VSC It's a little bit too alluring, and it's cost her dearly here. Imri, 1 minute 9.7 on those soft tyres. He is on the move. Leo gets right out of the way.
The qualifying times. Oh, my lord. BJ, who? We've seen these two battle.
Very tight there. Gutsy from Landlord takes P3 away, but it's like the thing is, Imri's not even that far away from these guys. He can still take a podium out of this, I think.
Oh, definitely. I never say never. Maybe it'd be very hard to catch Landlord on very similar tyres, but BJ on those 20 lap old mediums are going to be crying in pain as wow, Imri passes PJ. PJ and BJ near each other is very, very hard to communicate in my mind. I just had an absolute mind blank there, but I think I'd be a bit worried for Rovey as well. Oh no, 21 seconds. Never mind. I thought that was the gets the leader. My apologies.
That's a safety car.
Should be alright. Virtual safety car.
Is that?
Not sure why.
Unsure as what's going on there. I mean, there's no incident in particular, but all that does is just slow Imri's charge here. No sign of anything going on untoward in the racetrack. All of this is allowing.
I think we need a second to breathe. But yeah, it's just allowing Bruno to sit back, relax a little bit. Reggie again in the pit lane.
Slazenger's in.
Not too sure.
Slazenger hasn't got damage. Red J hasn't got damage either, so it doesn't look like those guys are stopping to repair anything. But I just have to keep focusing.
More about the gap. Ethan's got time actually. I don't really need to worry about that, but I think they'll go out ahead of Ethan. Ooh, it's close, very, very close.
Ethan gets there.
Ethan gets it, so I think Slazenger will be able to pass Ethan. I don't think there's really too much to worry about there. But yeah, I'm baffled. I am. This race is just turned upside down in a matter of seconds, really. From that Imri disconnection, everything has happened all at once.
Red J is out. Has he crashed it? He might have crashed it. But no safety car. Leo gets to drive through for speeding under the BSC again. I think that's the second one tonight.
It's penalties like that which are a shame to see, really. Speeding in pit lane, I'm not a big fan of. I get it can happen every so often, especially if you're still getting used to the game. But drive-through penalties and stuff like that from speeding, it's just unfortunate to see, really. But heading back to it, the closest battle on track right now is Slazenger and Ethan, which I can imagine being over and done with by the start-finish straight. And then obviously Leo, Fan and Cottony all quite close together as well. But other than that, everyone's kind of spread out a little bit, which is annoying, to be honest. In the last 5 laps of a race, we did want to see a bit of action going into that. And yeah, I think Ethan's even pulled over to the side to let Slazenger through.
Good sportsmanship there from the Alpine, and allowing his competitor to charge on into that points-paying place of the penalty. And he even can't perhaps fight for a point as much as he would have liked. Imri is close to get to BJ now, and he's about 4.5 seconds back from Landor. I'd say a podium is still on the cards before I go over here, but I think we can both agree. He led for so long today, and the fact it's not going to amount to a race victory, I think we can both agree he deserves so much more from that.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Undoubtedly, I've been very critical of, only in a constructive way, of Imri. I think it's fantastic. I think his pace is immense. One of the fastest. We've seen it 2 weeks in a row now, getting pole as he tries to make a move around the outside of BJ. Will he stick it in there? Come on, lad. Fantastic move.
What
there.
A move.
Really, really good move. But that's showing you that new Imri, this new season brought on by the return at Imola has really brought something and revitalised his RDL career and showing what he's capable of in other leagues as well. So very, very impressed, and is my driver of the day. Obviously doesn't really amount to anything because you don't get those points, but from a personal standpoint, definitely my driver of the day.
In terms of being a driver, of course, of notoriety at this circuit, I reckon you embrace these last 3 laps. Fan's out. Fan crashes it. It's a bit too late for a safety car now. He's got it on the exit of the chicane, more or less.
Yeah, just before Raskas. Car's been cleared off track, so another retirement, no safety car as well. Obviously, still have that issue, I imagine, with the safety car, but you have to repeat what you just said. Sorry, the T110P fan.
I just have to say,
Crashed.
if I were you, I'd enjoy I'd embrace the next 2.5 laps because because as of right now, Pope, you're the defending Monaco winner for only about another 3 minutes or so.
Well, yeah, I'll get it back next season. It's fine.
I'll have to wait and see on that. Grimio then leads the way in a race that, if I'm being completely honest, did not see going his way at all today. It looks like he's about to emerge with his third race victory of the season. And as of right now, in terms of active drivers, he's the only driver on this grid to have won a race in season 16.
Oh. Yeah, obviously Nicholas's departure has changed that start tremendously. It's interesting for Grumio. How many championships is it now? Six?
Six championships. This could be number 7 this season. You never know.
100%, yeah. It's a good way to start it, obviously. Trying to get as many points on Landlord as possible, but Grumio's had luck today. And I think, obviously, with luck and immense side scale, and that's what gives you those championships. You do need a bit of luck. And it just shows you when things fall right for you. They really do, and I think Grumio has really capitalised on that. Not the typical performance we get from Grumio. We've seen Grumio lead races by minutes before, but today, after a luck, I don't think he'd mind me saying this, it was a lucky event to get that, and obviously Grovey pitting as well, really giving him this race to lose now. So, going through turn 18 and 19, we'll be heading on to the final lap. It's gone very quick, I do have to say, even with the amount of virtual safety cars. The race has felt very quick.
I did say to you, did I not, that commentating Monaco was a lot more fun than you think, and now we're only a lap away from it coming to an end here as Grumio starts the 39th and final tour here in the Principality. Grovey, as of right now, runs in second place. It looks like she's about to come home runner-up once again to the Williams, short of a mistake on this final 2/3 of a lap. But that's plenty of time for him to go wrong, so don't count your chickens yet. Something could still happen on the way to the checker flag, you never know. He's got a pack of lap cars that he's catching quickly here, who potentially could play a factor if he catches them. But all he's got to do right now is just keep things calm and head towards the flag. And meanwhile, it looks like Imri won't be catching Landor with a lap to go on a day which looked to be his victory. He'll have to wait a little bit longer. Yellow flag, Connie Goblin retiring on the last lap. He'll be classified, but will not make the second flag. But I'll tell you who will. That will be Grumio, who is now a sector away from winning his third race of the campaign. Into this out of the swimming pool actually comes and slowing the game once again towards Raskas to pick up a win that no one saw coming about 10 laps ago. Out the final corner, DRS going wide open as Grumio runs to the line and takes the checker flag here in Monaco. Grumio wins it. Grovey now going into the last corner, looking to bring home another second place for Red Bull. This will push her closer to second in the Drivers' Championship. Landor looks to be finishing, come back in the end after that whole incident at the start with Grovey. Looks to finish it in third, 6.5 seconds clear of Imri. What a race it's been, Pope.
Yeah, really good. Once again, Williams really going to flex their muscles today. It could have gone McLaren's way to get points, Red Bulls, but obviously the two probably wisest drivers on the grid right now, and incredible races of Landlord and Grumio, really showing why they are the cream of the crop here at RDL. Getting P1 and P3, extending their points in that Constructors' Championship. But
Lucky Lambert. Lucky Lambert's out. Is he? Looks like he may have retired it. What the car has done. I'm not sure what's happened there. No clue. Sorry. I forgot PJ's penalty. Slashing gets P6 in the end. Imri.
Fantastic recovery.
Imri comes to the line in the end, and P4. You cannot help but feel for that young man, that Ferrari.
Yeah, obviously even really close to Websy by the 3 attempts at the end.
So Grumio then wins it. What a last 10 laps. I'm looking at it, it looks like Imri may have received damage trying to get around his teammate Red J. And that looks to be what brought on the extra stop to change the wing pope. Well, that was quite a Grand Prix, if I'm honest. And I did say to you, Monaco can be fun. I think now you believe it. So there you have it then. Grumio takes it. Double Williams podium. Grovey home in second. And Landlord in the end. Finishing in third. With good recovery drive from the 3-time series champion. But it is the 6-time champ Grumio who takes a small step closer to that elusive 7th Drivers' Championship with the win here in the Principality. And I have no doubt they'll be very pleased with the efforts tonight. Pope, you still there with us? I think you may have disconnected there. There we go. Yep, still. Yep. But yeah, Pope, what do I hear? Just give me your thoughts on that race, because that was quite frankly ridiculous.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now. So,
okay. I don't really know what happened there. I was saying stuff and it came overly. Interesting, I think is the best word for the race. It's one of those ones where it should have gone Imri's way, in my opinion. Obviously, unfortunate events caused that, but it's just about capitalising on them and making sure you've got a clear mind and right decision-making skills. I think with that, I think even Grumio could have gone on those soft tyres, but going on those medium tyres, for me, I still think Grovey could have won that race. She should not have pit. She should have tried to defend as much as possible. Would have given us something very exciting to watch at the end of the race. But yeah, very, very exciting. The middle point was really strategy based, and I think that's what I enjoy. That's what I enjoy about the circuit. So I think I can find enjoyment in that sense. But I can't wait to drive it again next season.
Well, it's been quite a day. We'll see if we can get a post-race interview from anyone. However, I don't imagine we'll get anyone in tonight. So it may be best for us to maybe just sort of cap things off. I'll confirm. I'll say I'll make sure. Just make sure. Okay, so that'll more or less do us in for tonight. So, Pope, you are no longer the defending Monaco winner. How does that feel?
That's alright. Like I said, I'll win it back next season.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. You never know. It could happen, it could not. But you'll need a seat for that. But that'll come in time. And of course, next week's race will be again here on the Zach RC channel. Next week's race being the Spanish Grand Prix, the 26th of February. Again, another fantastic track to add to this brilliant stretch that lasts from around Imola to sort of around Hungary, Belgium, that sort of time. So still plenty of fantastic races to come over the end of February and the majority of March there. So hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, make sure to subscribe for more fantastic audio action, for more, quite frankly, incredible races like that. I've been Zach RC, he's been Touch with Hope, and until the next stream, thank you guys so much for watching, and we shall see you soon. Goodbye. Right, we're at 5 hours of watch time.